Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
You might not know this about me, but I'm a very lighthearted person with a lot of intensity and a lot of pain that I caused myself that I try not to carry anymore. This is Dan, the No Comfort Zone guy, helping you get out of your comfort zone so you can live on purpose. This is supposed to be a feel-good podcast where at the end of it, when you're done listening, you're saying, you know what? I'm going to go reach for bigger goals. I'm going to try a little bit harder. I'm going to risk a little bit more so I can live a little bit more, so I can love a little bit more, so I can laugh a little bit more. I really want to matter on this planet, and I want to start living on purpose. That's what this podcast is all about, baby. Because there's a time in my life where I felt myself basically being overcome with depression, bipolarism, feeling of lack, low self-esteem, lack of zero confidence, and all that other stuff that goes along with just feeling miserable. That's where I was at. That's who I was. And that's the life that I lived. And I just got sick and tired of it. So I finally wanted to wake up and be like, you know what? I just want to start living my life and start pursuing my dreams and going after it in a major way. And I failed. And I kept failing. And I kept making bad decisions. And I kept on failing. And I got to a point where I had made another decision that I'm just sick and tired of who I am, being a failure in my own eyes, but yet everyone else sees me as being some sort of a success. There was a disconnection between who I was and who I wanted to be and what other people were seeing. I didn't like the life I was living, so I decided to break myself down, and that's where the No Comfort Zone comes in. I decided if that I was going to change anything, I had to change everything. And by changing everything, I had to do it minute by moment. From the time I woke up, from the time that I transitioned to the shower to go work out, not necessarily in that order, but how I did things in my success schedule started to begin. And then I realized after a few days that I'm feeling a little bit better and my determination was increasingly getting more intense, that I started to write down some goals. And then I threw those goals out. I got rid of them because they weren't big enough. And then I wrote down some bigger goals. And then I started to focus and meditate on them and dwell on them. And as I'm running in place, I kept thinking of those things repeatedly over and over again with major intensity and major emotion. And I started to act as if those things were already taking place in my life. And after around day 20 or so, things started to really progress for me quickly. And it gave me the necessary breath of fresh air that I was looking for to catapult me towards the remaining part of the challenge, because I was only going to do the challenge for roughly 30 days. But then I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it for 60 days. I should say this. My normal MO is I'm going to do it for 60 days. But if I get results where I want to go, or things start to turn around, or I'm progressing quickly, I'm exceeding where I was going to go with this, so I can only do it for 30 days and I can get comfortable again. And I decided to push past that boundary. And at the end of my comfort zone, when I was going through this challenge, that's when I decided to really started to think about, do I really want to be in this place that I'm at anymore? Do I really want to live this life with this occupation, doing these things here? And the more and more I thought about it, the more I realized that, you know what? This would be a comfort zone. I would be settling. I would be settling into average. I need to experience more in my life. And if this is speaking to you, whatever you're doing, master what you're doing now. Learn everything you can about it in your occupation, in your relationships, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Get the knowledge that you need. Really, really dig in. And don't do it over the course of years and years. Take your time, but do it now. Really start to invest and get those things done off of your list. Finish those cycles that you knew in your head you wanted to start, that you've started, and now you're just kind of caught in that rut. put an end date to them. I will be finished doing this by such and such date. Some people say they'll do it by retirement. I don't know if that's the healthiest thing, but I will say this. If you want to live your life and if you want to have that more experiences, you're going to have to risk a little bit and you're going to have to take some security and put it away. But I have to ask you a question. To sit comfortably with your investments, growing financially, where you can do the things that you want to do, that's great. But are you living? Is really what it comes down to. And for my life already, I know I haven't lived. Sure, I've been to a lot of places. I've spoken to a lot of people. I've stood in front of many audiences. But truth be told is, I didn't really live my life yet. And by doing this podcast and actually speaking to you and helping people, that's truly my passion. That is my passion 100%, is to help people get through adversity and help them get outside of their comfort zone and really help them find their purpose, their voice, their message. And somebody says, you know what, Dan, I don't know where I'm at in my life. I just don't know I want to be here. I don't want to be in this spot. What do I do? Well, then we're going to coach you through it. We're going to get you to that other side. We're going to find out where your passions are. We're going to convince you to risk a little bit more, and you're going to see what happens, because sometimes you just need a little bit of direction and a little push in the right, a little nudge maybe, in the right direction. And sometimes you need to be dragged through it to get where you want to go. And when you get that confidence and when you get that conviction about who you are as a person, it's over. It's game over. You're living your life. You're in that area of your life where the passion, the intensity, it's where the magic happens. And I was fortunate enough to experience that within a 60-day time period. And I pushed myself, dragged myself, nudged myself, talked really bad about myself, and encouraged myself to get to that point. I was my own coach, but I followed the blueprint and I documented it and I recorded it and I looked at my progress. And when I look back at it, I'm like, wow, that's all I had to do over 60 days. That's it. And now I'm in a position where I'm starting to feel the joy and starting to feel that, life really is a wonderful place to be. And I always took it for granted. So with a ton of gratitude, I wanted to share this message with you that I do appreciate you listening. I do believe in you. And I do believe that if you get outside of your comfort zone and work at it every single day, you'll live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.